What is up, everyone? So happy to have you. We are doing tons of stuff. What's up, Anakin? How's it going? Night at Conchu. Um, we're here
Yo,
until 11
yo,
tonight,
yo.
11 p.m.
Yeah, what's
Eastern. We're
up?
talking all about Deadpool, CGC. Whew.
Oh, man. Whew.
So much has happened. It's been 2 weeks since we've done this, but definitely needed to get back to it
Yeah, Deadpool.
because Deadpool 3 has wrapped up filming. A trailer release date for Deadpool 3 has been announced. And
hmm
there is more CGC news with possibly a price hike coming soon. And that's why they're kind of giving everyone like this thought of, hey, come join us. Come over to the dark side. We've got low
Yeah.
prices for people who are willing to pay high prices.
Yeah. Come on
So,
over. Get the sales. Get the sales while they're still saleable. Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So let's start with Deadpool 3. It wrapped up filming. What are your thoughts on all of the leak footage we've seen so far?
I mean, I'm mad at the leak footage. Stop leaking the damn movie. Like, yo, man. I don't know. I mean, I like what I saw. And I don't see anything that Marvel really has coming out this year that's going to be like really exciting for me other than Deadpool 3. They're
Yeah.
calling it the movie that's going to save Marvel, which Marvel's saying
Yeah.
now that they do have a problem. Yeah, this is the movie that's going to save Marvel. But wait, I thought the Marvels saved Marvel. I guess they didn't. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be a $1 billion movie, definitely. I mean, how many times have I
Billion?
picked a $1 billion movie that hasn't made $1 billion? Oh, billion, definitely. Think about it. There's really nothing coming out for the MCU. Now, unless you want to talk about Madam Web.
Yeah.
Madam
Do you
Web,
think
like, look, at Madam Web. Oh, that's going to be so funny. Yeah, I'm sorry.
do you think Deadpool 3 is going to be able to wrap up the Deadpool trilogy with a nice bow the same way that James Gunn was able to do to Guardians of the Galaxy, or do you think it's going to lead us to more Deadpool adventures?
I mean, from what I've been hearing from all the insiders is that there's going to be 2 break-offs from the series, but this is pretty much going to be the very last Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds
Okay.
said it himself as well, like he doesn't want to do it anymore. Not because he hates the role. I just think that he knows and understands that the entire movie is one big joke. So I don't know if people understand this joke. So the joke is this: all he ever wanted to do was get Wolverine's attention, but not like Hugh Jackman's attention. He wanted Wolverine's attention. This is why in all the movies he does these pops at Wolverine. But what I liked about what Deadpool was doing though was at least they were keeping with some continuity to the comic, because that's pretty much they go through a similar process. It's him, Deadpool, and Sabretooth. They're all made in the same lab in Canada. I forget exactly the story of how it goes, but I know that he's also indestructible. He can regenerate his skin, and he has skills similar to Wolverine, but Wolverine has more like a hunter mentality.
Yep.
But the thing about it is that he always
He's
was
got that
like
hunter
he was
instinct.
When he was Weapon X, right? If you go back in the comics and Wolverine was Weapon X, they sent Deadpool after Wolverine to stop him, and Wolverine annihilated Deadpool. He survived. So I like the fact that I feel like Ryan Reynolds, I don't know this for sure, so if I'm wrong, tell me, but I doubt it, because when I can see if somebody knows comic lore, because they told these writers screw the writers. They're told this, but the actors still do their research. And I feel like he definitely is a Deadpool guy. I mean, because if you look at what he did with Deadpool, he nailed it. I mean, like, he literally nailed Deadpool. Everything that Deadpool is, he got it like down to the T. And that's when I knew.
Yeah.
I'm like, not only is he Deadpool, but he a Deadpool fan. Like, he knew exactly how Deadpool would speak. The fourth wall dimensional breaking, how his mind was. Like, he understood the character to the point that he's like, yeah, this character is nuts, I just gotta let go and pretty much let the character be who he's
Yeah,
supposed to be. So in
it's
that
almost
aspect of respect, that yeah, I'm sorry.
like Rob Liefeld knew that Ryan Reynolds was going to exist someday, and he made
Yeah,
Deadpool in Ryan Reynolds' image. Because I mean, they literally
yeah,
are
pretty
one and the
much.
same. You go back and you watch an
It's
old Ryan Reynolds movie, or even a new Ryan Reynolds movie, like Free Guy. Free Guy is a perfect example of this. He plays
yeah,
a different version of Deadpool in Free Guy. Now, it's
yeah, he
obviously
does, he
not
does.
Deadpool, but it's a very similar like way that he walks, the way that he talks, the way that he does everything in Free Guy, and like I could name a bunch of other movies, but he really puts on that persona. And honestly, I feel like Deadpool was made for Ryan Reynolds. I know that that Deadpool was created, I even believe, almost before Ryan Reynolds was even born, or pretty damn close to when he was born. But it's Ryan Reynolds perfectly embodies that character, and it's just absolutely amazing to watch him play who he's always been meant to play, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like, and shout out to Rob Liefeld. Forget the feet. The man did a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
Like, people say he can't draw. Is like he's known as the most accomplished non-artist artist ever. I don't feel that way. I feel Rob Liefeld. He's still a kid. When all this was going on, you got to understand he was floating. Yeah,
what's up,
there
Mark?
it is. What's up? He was floating with Todd the God, like he was a teen,
Yeah,
like he was close to my age back then. I was a little younger than him, but watching him like at 15, 16, just like just hanging with Tom McFarlane and blowing up and coming up with his own characters, kind of reminded me
yeah,
of a Ramita Jr. in his prime, you know. And I just feel like Rob Liefeld had like the most craziest up and down career, but I always give him a shout out because I like the man. Like I do like the New Mutants. I love the cable cover he did with McFarlane. That's always been a fire cover to me. And it's like you could find a lot of stuff that the guy did well. And I just say for me, Rob Liefeld is he was way ahead of his time. You see how he does Cable and the Deadpool, like he had it down pat. Like his
yep,
style was perfect for what the story at the time they were trying to tell. To the point that we recognize that Deadpool as the Liefeld Deadpool is Deadpool to me. I don't care who draws
yeah,
it at that point. That's his character. Deadpool to me that's right. That's Rob Liefeld's character. Like when I see Spider-Man being drawn by Steve Ditko, I always say that's Ditko's Spider-Man. I mean, Ramita took
yeah,
over, and that's all good, and he did amazing. I mean, he had a real long run with it to the point that his son joined him. Son winds up creating the problem as a teen. You're sitting under the great one learning how to draw. It's just like stories like that I like to follow, and I like the continuity of it. So I
yeah,
see that like in the 90s, in the early 90s, by the late 80s to early 90s, because a lot of guys weren't alive, even collected at this point. But it was just like a real crazy time because there was just so much of the industry going on at the same time. There was just so many artists. Jim Lee it was just like Jim Lee. You had Tom McFarlane. You had freaking um this guy we just talked about. Jesus, I just lost my train of thought. But I'm just saying, like, it was just so many artists that were
yeah.
coming up at the same time. So many different creations, and and that
And
was like the first time.
it's
Yeah.
weird that the 80s and 90s are known as like that time when um comics kind of fell off the rails. DC was not doing well. They obviously had like their TV shows, their animated shows, and all that. Marvel was on the verge of bankruptcy. Like there was so much going on for these companies. I believe Image was just starting back then. Uh, Spawn had just taken off not too long before, and like all these amazing comics were coming out, and all these amazing artists and all these amazing writers were in the game, but for
Mm-hmm.
some reason the game just wasn't being played. Like no one was buying the books. It's a
Well,
very
okay.
weird time in comics.
from what from what I can remember back then, because that's when I was actively collecting comics. Like I still was actively collecting, meaning like I was collecting as much as I could. I'm still an active collector now, meaning I collect too much, but it's all good. But so back then I do remember that you started seeing like when the DC Superman came out, and you start seeing these different like chromium covers that came out, the foil covers, and you started to see like that the business was just like comics back then, believe it or not, was more speculative than they are today. I mean, these things were traded. I'm telling you, I had bought back then 10 Amazing Spider-Man number 300s, and throughout the years traded them back and forth for things. But I'm telling you, even back then, I held on to that book for like 4 years, and it was already people were already getting 250, 300 for the book, for that book, and I was like, what the hell? Because it was like
and that's
that's
before
when you started
grading.
to see. Yeah, that was before CGC. Like we knew what our books were worth. I mean, that's why you see this 9.6 and 9.8. I actually laugh at it because that's how I've always graded my books. Like before I even thought about there was something called CGC or CBCS or GPX or whatever you use to encapsulate your stuff these days. Take a pick. There's so many. But so we in the community we were like, oh yeah, that's like a 9.6, 9.8. We were never saying 9.9s and mid-10s and all this stuff. I mean, I gotta be honest, guys. I have so many cards laying around the lair, and I looked at one of them. I think it's very expensive. I gotta get these cards put together. The cards are freaking insane. Like, I think one of the. I'm not saying I have a $50,000 card, but I know I have one there that's worth a couple hundred. I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute. I think it was a Secret Wars. Yeah, I actually put it. I don't know if you guys can see it. I put it in the Secret Wars CGC. I gotta look that card up. I just got crazy stuff just floating around here. Shampoo, yeah, there you go. Spider-Man shampoo.
Everyone collects what they get collect.
Look at this. I'm gonna be doing a show on this soon. So this is like a radioactive Spider-Man.
Nice.
And it lights up. It looks pretty cool. I mean, I haven't played with it yet, but I'm gonna do a whole show on this, light it up, and probably gonna be like a new centerpiece for the layer. That'll be
that's
like
awesome. I was trying to see. My wife got me this for Christmas.
Oh, nice! Yeah,
and I was trying to see if I could like wear it with the headphones, but it doesn't really work too well.
I have a mask similar to that up here. It's small little, but it does all that. I have it on like a mannequin's head. I'm afraid to touch anything in the layer.
I'm gonna mount it over here, right on that piece of drywall.
Nice. Yeah, that's what's up. I mean, I have to literally get this whole layer together. I gotta start filming again. I haven't filmed in like a week. It's just been like crazy. I've been writing, getting the comic together. So book 2 should be done soon, and we're gonna be doing book 3. Like I'm just writing that right now. I mean, when I say I'm writing it, meaning like I'm actually putting it down where it's already in my head. I have this all in my head. It's not anything that I don't know. But sometimes like I just like to take my time and I don't have to have it all out there, but I have other projects coming up, so it's gonna come a time where I'm just gonna have to sit down one night and just bang out like all 6 of them.
Yeah,
I'll be good. But I've been going over it a million times in my head.
So getting back to Deadpool real quick, one of the biggest questions that's been coming up, like my students been asking me about Deadpool, and I'm like, you guys, you're 12 years old, you're 11 and 12, you should not be going to see Deadpool. Sorry, you shouldn't. Like, I love that you love comics, but don't. No, I would never take my 12-year-old to go see either of the Deadpools that have already came out. The amount of nudity in it alone, I'd be like, no, we're not doing that. But anyways, so they've been bringing up to me like, what cameo are you expecting there to be? And I'm like, okay, if we're talking cameos, we're probably gonna end up seeing some old Fox X-Men. We're gonna end up seeing Gambit. I think there's got to be a Gambit in here somewhere. I'm hoping for Rogue. But my biggest question is, do you think we're going to see Taylor Swift as Dazzler, or do you think that is just a trumped up like pipe dream for a lot of people?
I mean, I would have said last week that that's just a pipe dream. But have you
Okay.
seen what the hell's Taylor Swift's been going? What been going on in her life? I mean, damn. Boyfriend makes it to the freaking Super Bowl. Her records are like #1 again as usual. Like this girl's just going through like a luck streak. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'll be honest. Like I think she would be perfectly casted for Dazzler if she was to take the job. But I don't know if they can really afford Taylor Swift, to tell you the truth. I mean, we're talking about
wonder if she would just do it for the hell of it.
I mean, if she's willing to do it as a fangirl, say, yeah, I'll take like $5 million. Yeah. I mean, they would be crazy not to do it. And she'd be crazy not to do it. Because
you think they'd pay me $5 million?
You just say, okay, we'll give you $10 million, but you're gonna get so much royalties. I'm not sure. I like if I'm paying you $5 million, it's gonna be a few minutes. I mean, you know, I'm gonna get good use out of you. But we could work something, because you gotta understand. Like, I would give you $5 million. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you can work something within a few minutes, work it into a story, and see how the audience responds. And if the audience are like, "Holy shit, you've seen Taylor Swift, she pulled off a great Dazzler," then you know you have a Dazzler hit. Like, if you want to do the MCU, right? MCU, this goes for you guys. These are established characters. Like, you think that you're discovering, it's funny. It's like you think you're discovering America all over again when it's already been discovered and colonized. Like, no, this is already here. The one thing, and I know this for a fact because I'm in the industry, and I know this, I've been told this time and time again by many people, many writers told me this over the course of my years working. When you try to tell them that you know the comics, they don't want to hear that. Nope. They don't want you to have any knowledge. But you see, there's a sect of us that still exists within the business that don't give a damn about that. And believe me, we let them take their turns, and you see how this DIE is working. I don't call it DEI. I just call it DIE because every time a company went woke, they gone broke. I get it. It's a demographic because you see, I'm Gen X, so we ain't getting a damn thing. No, that goes to the millennials because that's right. Gen X, we don't need nothing from you guys. We made our own money. We don't need nothing. You can take it because you guys ain't gonna last longer than us. And then we're coming for your stuff. Don't mess with us. But anyway.
But so like the thing is for me is like I wouldn't mind seeing Taylor Swift in this. I don't hate her. I don't love her. Like, I'm not a big Swiftie, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit there and be all pissy about her. So then like, especially seeing now that her in my mind, future husband has made it to the Super Bowl. Seeing all of this, I'm like, why are we so fixated on her? Like, the NFL is literally using her to get more viewers. They're paying her some amount of money for endorsements or something. Like, it's insane. And it's like, is she just dating this guy so that way the NFL will get their money or give her money? Or like, what the hell is the real reason behind this?
Or maybe they fixed the entire game to make sure that her boyfriend's team won so they could satisfy all the Swifties. I don't know, bro. Who knows? Anything's possible in this crazy world.
I know.
You know?
And
they
I'm just
boy, they fixed a World Series game once. So if they could fix that, they can fix anything. That's it.
I'm just so who knows, I'm at the point where it's like, okay, it's Taylor Swift. Like, she's good. She's not, in my opinion, she's not like this great artist. She'll go down in legend, similar to Michael Jackson. You'll have a bunch of people who loved her and a bunch of people who hated her. Yeah.
I mean, and I think her music is quite cute. I don't care for it either way. If it's on, sometimes I'm jamming to it and I'm like, oh, Jesus, it's another Taylor song. you're catching them. You're like, no. And the girlfriend's catching me. And I'm like, stop.
It's not coming up on my Pandora playlist, but at the same time, it's not getting turned off if it's on the radio in the car. Like, you know, it's one of those things where I don't hate it, but I don't love it. And same thing goes for her. I don't hate her. I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about her because she is an amazing human being from everything I've heard about her. But man, I'm also not going to say that she has to be in the MCU in order for me to go watch this movie. And I'm not going to say that if she's there, I'm not going to go see it either. And I feel like
Of
that's
course,
what we're
yeah.
kind of getting into lately is if you tell me there's a cameo and there's not, I'm not going. If you tell me there's a cameo and I don't like the person that's cameoing, I'm not going. I'm like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And a lot of the comic book community lately has been wanting this. I want this and this at the same time, but I can't have this, so I'm not going to have any of it. And it's like, come on, really? The shit's
Listen
coming
up.
to life. Just let it be what it is. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Listen up, you perpetual spoiled children. Okay? Daddy speaking. Enjoy it all. If you can't, like, I remember the one cameos when you would see Stan Lee in phase 1 and
Mm-hmm.
phase 2. I would lose my mind every time I saw that. That was enough for me.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while they did a little hidden Easter egg. That was fine.
Yep.
These things went from like a couple of seconds to like a 10-minute mini movie after a movie to connect 3 other movies that have nothing to do with the movie that you
Yep.
saw, but will connect it somehow. And when we get to phase 4, find out no, none of it connected whatsoever. It was all the multiverse. So yeah, I mean, I like, you know how I feel about phase 4. I hated phase 4. Phase 5 ain't doing me no justice either. We'll give it. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna count. Don't count Madam Web in this whatever phase you think you're on.
Madam Web doesn't
That's
count.
got to be separate. Yeah, that's separate Sony.
That's
Sony's
the Sony
actually gonna
Spider-Verse of characters, whatever the hell they're calling
that
it.
Sony would be this dumb to put out such a low. I mean, they're not spending no money, but still, you're not gonna make no money.
What is the budget on Madam Web? I think it's under 100 million.
Like 80 to 85 million.
Okay.
So what?
About the same as the Batgirl movie. Like, putting that in perspective.
No, actually, the Batgirl movie was getting back. No, actually, the Batgirl movie with reshoots that were on there that were actually done. The Batgirl movie is pretty much done. It almost cost 200 million. This was a big freaking like loss. Yeah, it's so unwatchable. For now, I would love to find a copy.
Everything that's come out about it is that it was like $90 million is the loss they were willing to take on it, so they took it.
Nah, it was about 200 million. You gotta understand how this works. Every time they tell you that number, just double it always. It's always because you want to give we're coming towards the end of but
they didn't market it.
Quarter. Right. We're coming towards the end of a quarter, and your stockholders know, your shareholders know you crap the bed. So you're not going to say initially, we crapped the bed with a $200 million mistake. You'll say 94 million. And then they find out later on, nah, it was actually 200 million. Hey, what's another 100 million, right? But they can write that off. So with the write-offs, it comes out to a loss of about 94 million. You see how that math works? So
yeah,
it's pretty much like they go lose half of that money anyway. Wind up losing about wind up spending $94 million I'll never get back. But it's better than freaking sitting there, putting that movie out, and then watching it go to the crapper. Because it wouldn't have made it. It was, from what I understood, it was very unwatchable. That's not good. When you got a lot of people saying that the movie is so unwatchable after several reshoots, I mean, like, whoa. But,
several reshoots, several test screenings. Is it anywhere in the WB servers? Like, is it even possible to find this?
When I tell you this was wiped, what do you think everybody did? The first thing that I know in the industry that people did went right to the server. And I have it. I'll show you the clip later about where it was in the server and how it's gone. It's gone. Yeah. There's no backup to this. There's no nothing. This was in a digital server within the company itself, within Warner Brothers. And only one person had the ability to eject that. And they were given the order to take it out. It was literally like a sniper job. There's nothing that exists. The only thing that exists is cell phone footage of people who knew that this movie was going to bomb and they wasn't going to ever make anything of it. So those footage that you catch is pretty much from either guys who weren't on the shoot, but maybe they had sometimes we mess with the cameras. shh. Like, we'll mess with professional equipment. Like, if we know there's a few minutes of film in there, which is all digital now, you can pick. But some people still shoot in Panavision. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
Still shot in Panavision. Not a lot.
Yeah,
but
Marvel still
some
uses
do.
Kodak film, last I knew.
Yeah. I mean, so it depends on who's shooting. But
Yeah.
sometimes you'll have digital cameras as backups, and sometimes we just pick them up and just start shooting things, and we take them. It goes on the server, because it goes on the server, but then it goes off the server into our USB drives, and they just get split up amongst a bunch of us. And whatever happens in the future, hey, somebody's got to keep track of history. No one's trying to make money. If we can do it, we do it. And I don't do that all the time, and I'm very respectful to my NDCs. I don't ever say, if I'm making a movie or a show and I'm signing a bunch of paperwork, I can say what it says publicly. Like, if we're shooting a show, I can't give you the name of the show, but I can give you the name of the public shoot, because sometimes you'll see, like, when you go out in public, and I mean, like, it's obvious. You're not going out in the public and seeing Wolverine and Deadpool being shot and not know who that is. I mean, exactly. You're not gonna know. They're too famous. But there's certain projects that you can.
Not just that, but a yellow costume and a red costume next to each other kind of stand out in a crowd.
But unless you're in Times Square where everybody's dressed in costumes at this point, so you'll be good, So I just feel like Deadpool and Wolverine, it's gonna make $1 billion, definitely. It's the movie that's supposed to save Marvel, but you're not gonna save Marvel if you put out Madam Web. You guys are just killing yourselves. Madam Web, honestly, to me, when I first saw the trailer, right, and I'm not making fun of it, but I got nothing but CW vibes from it. Maybe it's just me, but I got CW vibes from it, and I
understand
laughed because I'm like, this would have been.
It looked like a fan film.
It would have been a great film, like not even a fan film. I would have made this into a bunch of 30. Like, I would have took 30 minutes of it and made it a 2.5-hour, 5-part miniseries, broke it down to 30 minutes, and see people's reaction. Because from what I was told from the movie and the insiders that I know, you pretty much watch the first 10 minutes and it's a wrap. So everything that goes on in the movie happens in the first 10 minutes. And the rest is just boring dialogue and trying to figure out how to work their powers. But again, trying to tie in with Spider-Man when there's no Spider-Man. Because again, you guys are going to try to do something that's stupid. They're going to make a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man. They're making a Kraven movie without Spider-Man. Like, Jesus. That's like making a Goblin movie, the Green Goblin movie without Spider-Man. Right? Like, come on. Yeah. Or how about the game? Let's talk about the game for a second. That really, really pissed me off that you had Kraven the Hunter, and this is spoilers, people. So if you didn't play the game by now, too bad. I'm about to spoil a bunch of stuff. He starts to kill the Sinister Six. What the hell was that about? Like, there were things in that game that I loved. I loved how they made Mary Jane scream. I thought that was great because it always made sense to me. Like, she had red hair and she's yellow, Mm-hmm. So I was always thinking, yeah, Mary Jane would make a good scream. But then they just killed, like, almost all the Sinister Six. Like, you don't get to talk about that now. Like, they're gone. See, so in games and TV shows and comics, there's a lot of things that comics don't really ever piss me off, because I'm not saying the modern comics. So, I can't even talk about that. I'm talking about the comics.
Have you 100%ed?
No, I haven't yet. I've been lazy. No.
Have you done all the spider bots?
No, I haven't done. I am up to about 80-something% of it. I'm going to. No, I watched you, and I was like, that's what made me want to play. You were playing last week.
Okay.
I want to get the Carnage suit. Yeah, there's a Carnage suit you can get. Yep. I want to get all that. So I'm gonna get on this weekend to go live. I haven't did any videos in a minute, so I gotta put some stuff out there. So I'm probably gonna get on in the morning and play. But yeah, I love that Spider-Man game.
I was so pissed that because I was like, oh no, there's no way that I'm gonna go, and it's gonna be like happening right here, and I won't be able to change characters. And I get all the spider bots. I go to deliver them, and I'm as Miles, and I was like, okay, like this is cool, I guess. But I really wanted to see what Peter's reaction would have been, because Miles' reaction was good, but now I want to replay it and do like all the missions that I did as Miles as Peter. like the ones that you can do either or,
Yeah.
and see the different reactions between the two. Because honestly, the reveal that this all connects to the Spider-Verse, like, yeah, in Spider-Verse, you've got like the little hints of, okay, there's PS4 Spider-Man. Okay, cool. But now you have PS5 Spider-Man connecting back to the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
Like, that's amazing to be able to do that and to actually say, we're going to do this and it's going to be in the game as a mission, even though it's a side mission, but in the game as a mission, and we're going to make it connect, tells me that they're thinking deeper about what they're doing. And I don't understand why Sony's able to do this with animated, but they're not able to translate it to live action.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. DC does the same thing. DC's animated shit is fucking amazing. Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, amazing games. And then you sit there and you put Batman up against Superman and you need Wonder Woman to save the goddamn day. Like, what the fuck?
Wonder Woman, go make me a sandwich. Get your ass back in the kitchen.
No shots fired at Wonder Woman. I'm just saying, like, in a Batman versus Superman movie, Wonder Woman should not be the one that shows up to save the day. It should have been a Batman movie, and then you have the Batman versus Superman movie. But no, we've got to make it Dawn of Justice. Like, there's so much wrong with all this stuff going on at different studios. Marvel, in all honesty, is the only one that has been able to put out consistently amazing live action. Well, not amazing. I don't want to say everything's been amazing, but really good live action, really good animation, and really good games all in one. Like, they've consistently been doing that. Obviously, they've had hiccups like Secret Invasion that somebody dropped the ball. She-Hulk, the ball got dropped and luckily it got canceled. But like, there's always going to be those shows and those movies that were like, I didn't really enjoy it, or it wasn't for me. But at the end of the day, She-Hulk did have its place. Like, it was enjoyable to watch, even if it did suck as a superhero comic book TV show.
I mean, it wouldn't have been too bad if they just would have. I mean, they're sitting here like they don't want to be comics. They got She-Hulk really well. They did. I was even telling that we were discussing this. They got her well. And that's what I was like intrigued about. But after the third episode, I knew. I was like, oh man, this is a troll. And then
it's all
comes
satire.
out and says that she was like satire trolling the fans. Like, so now we're gonna make season 2. No one cares. You should have just made it good. You guys are doing good. This show could have went so far. I mean, there's so much range that you could have done here. No shit. Like, I get it. You were trying to troll the trolls, but that's not what you're here to do. You're here to entertain the fans. What about the fans? Why do you
that in little short movies?
You guys got freaking fans. We paid for this. Why are you trolling us? We didn't do anything to be trolled about. What you should have done was concentrate on making the best She-Hulk you could have made. See? Feminism, it works. You guys had your chance. Now get back to the kitchen.
Have you seen it's from, I think it's from the Disney cruise, the Ant-Man skit? You know how
I've seen pieces of it.
You know how in Endgame they basically said Ant-Man should have just crawled up with Thanos' ass and grown and that would have exploded Thanos and defeated him. So on one of the Disney cruises, they addressed that. Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne addressed that and was like, and whoever thought that it would be a good idea to crawl up Thanos' ass and explode was just stupid. You're not thinking about it. To even think about that is just wrong. But to really try to figure out the best way to do that would just be dumb. And I'm like, this is the place where you troll the trolls. This is the place where you say, yes, we could have done that, but no, it wasn't a good movie. Like, obviously, Samuel L. Jackson could have said to Hayden Christensen, what would you like for me to do? I'll do anything in the world if you just let me kill this motherfucker right now while he's sitting here almost dead. And he could have been like, oh, just can I marry Padme? Boom. End of discussion. Palpatine's dead. We're all good to go. Like,
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't make for good cinema.
You need that tragedy. You need that comedy. I don't know. It's like I don't know. I mean, me personally, when I heard that joke, I laughed at it. I thought it was funny as hell. But yeah, but just think about it like this. He's a god, so you're going to get in God's ass and explode. Good luck with that.
You
mean,
don't need to spend $250 million to make a joke. That's an end of it. Like, you don't need to do that. And that's what they did with She-Hulk, and that's why it failed.
And wow, and She-Hulk, I mean, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but it was costing about $25 million an episode to make.
Yeah.
$25 million. 25 Marvel. I have a comic book company, right? Just give me $1 million. All I need is $1 million. I could take that $1 million and turn it into a multi-billion-dollar empire. Trust me, you guys are throwing money away. $25 million. I could have made 25 companies for you guys. 25 more pockets of investment. What's wrong with you guys? I get it. But also making good stories counts, you know? So if you're not in the business of, if you're a feminist and you hate men, then keep doing you. Because if I was a feminist, which I am, I believe in equal rights and equal lefts. I do not discriminate. You know, if a woman wants to throw hands, hey, I let her know. I don't discriminate. I'm a total feminist. And I will hit her with everything I got.
As my students say, these hands are rated E for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And that's how it goes now in these days. I mean, when I was growing up, no one hit a lady, you know, but at the same time, no one got hit by a lady either, because once the lady put her hands on you, she wasn't a lady anymore. Now it's all, that's it. it's game on. That's it. Pop. There you go. So, you know, we grew up in a time where, yeah, the girls grew up rough like the boys, and the boys grew up rough like the girls. The girls didn't play either. I mean, they would come and punch you upside the head. They didn't care, you know? And we didn't call them macho or anything. We would just laugh at them. No one cared. We didn't give it like a name or a distinction or a creed or whatever. It was just the way it was, you know? Now you got all these crazy people out here, like, I don't know. They don't grasp the concept of, I don't know, like, you could be who you want to be, and that's fine. But if you want to play in a woman's sports, but you're trending over to a man, you're just not, that's not fair to the real women. It's not saying nothing bad about you, but you made as a man. You cannot think that you have equality. That's not equality. That's not even equity. That's just stupidity. I wouldn't want my daughters playing against natural born men, you know? Like, okay, you whatever you want to say about it, it don't matter. I mean, the thing I would really like to see, I would love to see, like, they talk about this online a lot, like the best high school team in the country play the WNBA women's championship team, which whoever the hell that is, I don't know. I don't watch WNBA. But people made a poll about that, and they said that would actually make money on pay-per-view. And I would actually pay to see high school boys taking on the WNBA championship team, whoever that is, and see what would happen. And I tell you what would happen. I think the high school boys would destroy the WNBA. And they should do it too. There was a challenge out there. Someone was going to give them $1 million to participate. And then somebody else said, well, we can put it on pay-per-view. So yeah, do that, you know, because it's real simple. I'll put it to you like this. This is how I feel as an old school guy. Women, we're not in competition with you. Stop trying to be in competition with us. Just be women. Be women. That's it. Nobody expects you to be super mom, have 20 careers, 20 doctorates, 5 kids in your 30s, and then you're all dead by the time you're in your 60s because you just didn't think about what was important. And to me, family is the most important thing. I'm not saying everybody go out there and have a family, but I'm saying, and I'm not saying that as a woman you shouldn't have a career or you shouldn't work, but at the same time, I mean, you gotta think, what do you really want to do? As me personally, I wish I was a housewife. Man, I have my husband's food ready. I have the kids straightened out. I have everything done. Like, that man wouldn't need nothing. Because why the hell would I want to go to work? I want to stay home all day and clean. That's just me, you know? Yeah. Why? I don't know why anyone in their rightful mind, as a man, we are men. So as a man, we don't have the option of, there's no such thing as you, Chris, saying growing up, you know, when I get married, I'm gonna marry me some when I get older, I'm gonna marry me some rich broad and stay home all day and cook and clean for her. It never happened. It never happened. Because as a man, you don't have this option. Women have this option of doing either or. And it's beautiful. And it's a wonderful thing. There's no equality there. You understand? It's equity. It's about what y'all want to do. I just feel like the way that America's going, I mean, because you're a teacher, so maybe you can agree with me or disagree with the culture. I mean, I'm hearing that Generation Alpha is like kicking ass. Like, they really don't know anything and they're really stubborn as hell. But I just feel like,
yeah, Generation Alpha I haven't met yet. I'm still teaching Gen Zers.
Yeah, so the Gen Zers are saying that Generation Alpha is kicking their ass.
Generation Alpha is so young. I don't know that we're ever going to see that. I think the oldest Generation Alpha is like 8 years old right now.
Yes, they're like first and second graders now, so they're
pretty much
up in there slowly. Yeah, you'll see them in a few years creeping up in your classrooms. That's gonna be funny. Because by that time, who knows? They may be as bad as our generation, and I don't know if you guys can handle another Generation X, man. I don't know if you guys can handle it, because I'm telling you, man. Watch any of these old school Gen X videos, and it's real simple. Like, I think it was some TikTok I was watching about Gen Zers Gen Zers was saying, well, we didn't forget you, Gen X. And then Gen X responds like, Gen Z, don't mess with us. We will literally come and take you guys. We are here kicking the boomers' asses still, and we're in the background chilling. Don't mess with us. Don't mess with us. If anybody's still alive from Gen X, embrace that person, right? You know it. There you go. I just put it to like this. I come from a crazy time where, like, my age, honestly, if you want to think about my age, how old I am, because I just turned 21 the other day, so thank you all. But I was like, if you watch, what's that show? Stranger Things? Yeah. That was about the age I was during that exact time. That's why I love that show so much. That was about my age. So I grew up in the 80s like that, where I was seeing E.T. for the first time. I was seeing all these crazy movies, all this technology, the first Pac-Man machine. Like, you don't even understand what that looked like to a kid. Like, that, never seen anything like this. And one day I'm just passing in this weird store. Like, it was a convenience store off to the side of the road. Like, I can't even describe it. It's like you're driving and it's just weird store off to the side. You could just park. Like not a 7-Eleven, but more like a convenience store. And I never forget, I saw it off the left side of my eye, and I turned around, and it was Pac-Man. And it was the most beautiful thing I ever seen. It just like lit up, and I was just like in like a moth to a flame. I was like, what the hell is this? It was so beautiful. Like the first time seeing something like that, you know, like you don't forget these things. Like, I get it, there's great video games that have come out throughout the years that blow away Pac-Man. But I don't give a damn what anybody says. When you see a machine for the first time like that, you never forget that. You never forget it. That stuck with me. I was a kid when that came out, and I was like, wow, I still remember it. I remember the thing that caught me the most of my eye was the maze itself. Like, it was all lined in blue. It just lit up so like neonic blue. It just looked so, I don't know. I felt like a moth drawn to a flame. The old school, I'm glad I got to see all this. It was a great time. And even now, I love the technology. I mean, don't get me wrong. The technology now is great.
Okay, Anakin, I gotta ask, what do you hate about your generation? Because I feel like everyone who hates Gen Z, everyone who hates like their generation of Gen Z, they're all like, oh, well, I hate that They're all on social media. I hate this. I hate that. And apparently, there's a lot of Gen Zers right now who are going back to flip phones because they don't like social media. Like, flip phones are making a
Yeah, remember
comeback
when a phone
because of
just made a
Gen Z. And that's amazing to
wow,
me.
Gen Z. Wow, keeping it old school. See, yeah, I know. Like sometimes you're on your phone and a bunch of stuff's popping up. You're like, what the hell? I just want to make a phone call. That's it. I just want to text somebody. That's it. I mean,
Yep.
I remember when we didn't even have cell phones. I remember the damn beepers. Now, when you had a beeper, that's when you know you was the man. You had
Yeah.
nothing, a beeper, and you would like, I forget how it was. I think you had to call the service and speak the message you wanted to send. Yo, Roscoe, pick me up in 10 minutes, like, you know, something like that. And then Roscoe picks up his beeper and he's like, oh, I gotta pick this dude up in 10 minutes. Roscoe can't respond to you, by the way. So you're just giving somebody a beep, hoping that they get back to you. But you know, like if you gave me a beep, I would be half the time, oh man, Chris, nah. I never got your beep. No, I would always answer the beeps back. Like sometimes somebody would text me their numbers. Like it would be shady stuff. Like I didn't do anything shady, but I always felt like, you know, like I'm walking around in public and my beep was going off and everybody's looking at me and I'm like, it's just a beeper. I'm not selling anything, people.
Yes, Anakin. The show is Steve-O.
Yeah. and then so we went from that to like now you got all of this stuff on the phone. But yeah, I like the flip phone idea. Do it, Gen Z. But what was he saying?
Okay. I gotta say,
they post cringe things on the internet. Yeah, that's true.
So they post cringy things on the internet. I grew up in the generation of Jackass. I grew up in the generation of Punk'd. I grew up in the generation of every single dating show you could possibly think of. Like there was a bus that people would get on, and then someone would get off the bus. It was called Next, and the person would go on a date, and for every minute that the person allowed them to stay on that date, they'd earn $1. Like that's the cringy shit that my generation had to deal with.
$30.
And this was perfectly normal. And if the date went really well, like at the end of like a 45-minute date, you could say, the person be like, oh, do you want to go on a second date or do you want to take the $45? And if they went on a second date, they lost the $45, but I think then like a date was paid for them. So I mean, it was nice, but like, are you for real? And then there was obviously like Flavor Flav of Love.
Flavor of Love. Remember he was Brigitte Nielsen. Foofy.
What was the chick that had her own show right around the same time? I can't think of her name. Oh, Tila Tequila or whatever.
Oh, Tila Tequila. Yeah.
Tequila of Love or some shit like that. It was crazy. And then you've got Jersey Shore. Like nothing is cringier than Jersey Shore.
Oh my god, I used to love that
show.
Fake
Italian people acting over the top Italian, and then going, "Oh, we're dweebs." I'm like, shut up.
I'm looking for a juice head gorilla. Jay, wow.
Anakin, the one thing you got to understand is that every generation has that cringy shit they can look back
at. Sounds like today. It sounds like today.
Take like these $5 or double it and give it to the next person. I like those videos though. I gotta say, those are always good. It's good to know that someone's like, I'd rather give it to the next person than take $5. I do appreciate that.
There you go. There you go. Give it to me. Make it a nice big pile, and then I'll just dedicate it to myself. For the company.
Do you think? For the company. So February 11th, we're 9 days away right now from the trailer drop of Deadpool 3. Do you think we're going to get a teaser where it's only like action? Do you think we're going to get like a full trailer where we get a little bit of the storyline? What do you think is going to go on in this trailer?
Oh, we're talking for the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that this is going to be about a 2-minute and 30-second commercial, maybe. It's going to be long. It's gonna have action and a lot of plot story, and they may do a quick reveal of someone so quick that you're not gonna be able to catch it. This is what I'm hearing. Of course, everything's subject to change, but I can't remember the last time that I had information that was wrong. Really haven't had any lately ever. So about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's gonna have a lot of action. It's gonna have like a detailed description of. I believe what the trailer's gonna talk about is what I talked about at the beginning. How it's always been Deadpool's dream to just get Wolverine, and he wants to fight Wolverine. But before that, he wants to know Wolverine, to become Wolverine's friend, to be everything that Wolverine, and then he wants to kill Wolverine. And I think they're gonna show it in that manner, the friendship,
Okay.
the loyalty, and then boom to the fight, and then you're gonna see a flash of somebody, and then it's gonna end like that. That's what I'm hearing. Like I said, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, but my track record is pretty good, so I can't say that the source that gave me this information is pretty much been right about almost everything. So I can't say for sure that it won't be the case, but yeah, the Super Bowl one, just look out for this. This is gonna be a humongous commercial, and I'm hearing it's costing them about 15 million. I'm not sure if that's the
insane
budget.
to me.
Well, because it's Super Bowl and they
I know.
but the way they
The
set
hell's
this
the
up,
point?
you
Put it
gotta,
on YouTube.
where you're gonna have the most eyes that day. You gotta understand this is worth it to them because this is where all the eyes are gonna be that day. I know. Yeah, you can put a. I know it's stupid.
I'm not watching
I get
this
it.
year, in all honesty.
Listen, I watch the Super Bowl. Honestly, it's for the commercials. That's it. Unless it's my team's not winning, I don't really care for it. I don't even know who's playing
This
chat.
is why it's so hard to break even on a
15
movie.
million for a commercial.
Because especially when movies come out in the summer, they always try to drop their trailers exactly for the reason that Spiders Lair just said. Is because it gets the most eyes on it immediately without anybody turning away. Nobody turns away from Super Bowl commercials, and everybody remembers Super Bowl commercials. You can literally go to YouTube and type in Super Bowl commercials 2015, 2016, 2017. You can talk about the Talking Baby commercials still if you wanted to. Like, there are so many commercials that are so well known and so well done because they were released at the Super Bowl that they can charge as much as they want for the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's going to be at the prime time, right? I think they're going to premiere the commercial right before the second half ends, before it goes to halftime. So it's going to be a really good setup. I'm not sure they're doing anything tied to the. Yeah.
Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you, but had to with that one. You know the commercials sucked and the Super Bowl sucked. If you can't remember who won or the commercials.
I do remember the game was pretty competitive. That's all I remember. And the commercials were not good. Yeah. I mean,
I'm so tired. The Chiefs are turning into the next version of the Patriots, and I'm not here for it.
I miss the Patriots making it. Come on, man. Patriots all the way. No, I hate the Patriots. I like the Patriots. I'm not really into football all that much as I used to be. You know, my old school Dallas Cowboys.
My dad hated the fact that I wasn't never into it. He's like, what do you talk about with your friends? I was like, other stuff? Like, we don't just sit around and talk about football for 20 weeks out of the year like you grumpy old men do.
Then one day he saw you reading the comic and he goes, I knew it.
Don't hate the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift. Hate the NFL because all they care about is using Taylor Swift.
Yep.
And that's why no one should watch the Super Bowl.
Listen,
that's just my opinion.
I'm gonna watch it for the commercials. That's all I watch it for. I literally walk away from the action, and then my girl's like, the commercials on, and I'm running back to the TV. I was like, oh, the commercials. That's it. If it ain't for anything I don't want to watch, that's it. I watch the commercials. That's it. I swear I don't watch the game. This was commercials. Commercials could be good sometimes, but yeah, I don't remember any good commercials last year. So NFL, Marvel, put out a good trailer. Put out a good mini movie. Make it interactive. Whatever you gotta do. put asses in seats. But this Deadpool Wolverine, the one it's funny that Marvel thinks they're doing okay, but yet say in their own press conference, the movie that will save Marvel. They'll say, but you guys don't need saving. What are you talking about? I don't get it. I'm confused. So you are going down. It's the MCU. That's all it is. Listen, girls love women. Yeah.
I wonder if they would have said the same thing if Jonathan Majors didn't get arrested.
I'll put it to you
because I feel like if Jonathan Majors doesn't get arrested, you don't have to rethink your entire end of Phase 5 and Phase 6 slate. Your multiverse doesn't change. It just it stays the same. I mean, realistically, all they had to do was move some parts around, do all that. But I don't think it needed to be saved if they didn't need to change Jonathan Majors.
I mean, but the thing about Kang is he exists in different times, different realms, different reality. Why not different looks?
Yeah.
You already made him black. In the comics, he's white and Egyptian and whatever the other.
Yep.
He was a kid at one point. They're showing Iron Lad as a white, young, blonde boy. I've been saying, you literally took a character that didn't exist and made him. That's like Nick Fury. Ain't Samuel L. Jackson. It's all good though. You do what you want. It's your properties. But at the same time, you don't have to worry about what color, race he's going to be. He can be anybody. You don't have to be. He could be anybody. He could be any color, any race, any sex, any whatever. Just like Loki. They already proved it with Loki. Loki could be any race, any color, any sex, hell, any species. There was
right now in the comics, he changed over to be a woman just for the hell of it.
Yeah. If I could be a woman for a day, I would, just for only a day. Then I run back to manhood crying, getting all those emotions out. No, I love my ladies. I love you all. I just want you all to be happy. That's all. Be happy with
So I've got to head out, but last thing I want to ask you, do you feel like CGC is going to bring up a price hike soon with all of the free stuff they're doing? Or not free, but with all the discounts they're offering?
Yeah. Look, you got to understand, that's when you always got to, when they're giving you the sales, you always got to say, what are they doing? They're trying to make you not look over here.
Yep.
CGC's got a lawsuit going with 2 of its former employees. And I read most of the lawsuit, and I got to be honest, the qualifications, I couldn't believe it. The guy's qualifications was, now you're ready for this, everyone. This is the qualifications work for CGC according to the lawsuit. He was a comic book collector. That's it. No, I'll go over the whole case again. He was a comic book collector. So that qualified him to.
So let's hire him.
And somehow, yeah. So, sir, tell us your experience. I'm a comic book collector.
I've been looking at books and thinking about books and knowing books for a little while. I have books, so I know books.
There you go. I mean,
what's your qualifications to be a personal trainer? Well, I can pick this up and put it back down, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I can pick things up. I pick things up and put them down. You're hired. There you go. It's one of those situations. And then they wonder why they're having such problems. But yeah, I mean, did you see this lawsuit? I told you, and this investigation was going to spring open so many other things. If it's one thing that they caught, that's the only thing they caught now. But this investigation, I know the investigation company they use is the best in the country. Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised that they found this yet. Remember, I told you this was going to happen. More lawsuits are going to come. But yeah, CGC. I thought you needed all this education when I was trying to get the damn job. I told you I'm not just a collector. I'm a lifetime avid collector. That should put me at least vice president of CGC. Jesus Christ. I mean, I know my books. I was grading books before you guys even existed. I can tell you all my books were 9.4s, 9.6, 9.8 mints. I've turned in things that I knew the grades that were going to be. Then they tell you that pre-screen thing. I was 9.8, 9.8, 9.8, 9.8, 9.8 all day. I was like, I know these are all 9.8, And this is why, I stopped turning in things because with the 9.9 pre-screen, I knew they were going to do this one day. I had a feeling, and I saved so many grails. Yeah, that's going to be another thing. Good luck with going through all that nightmare. So all your 9.8s are going to be, I think it's going to bring down the 9.8s big time, because now the 9.9s are the new 9.8s, but we already had 9.9s. They just never let you pre-screen for 9.9s before, people.
Do you think it will really bring down the 9.8, or do you think the 9.9s will be like a 9.8 where it's like almost double of a 9.6? Or do you think a 9.9 right now is almost double of a 9.8 because it is what it is? Because it's so rare to get a 9.9.
Yeah, I mean,
unless you're an influencer.
If you but yeah, it's rare. Right. Unless you're an influencer, you have an inside job. But you gotta understand, like, I already know, like I said, I have thousands of comics that are laying around, and I know for a fact that most of them have never been handled out of a package that have been in packages for decades. Not old, but they've been taken care of. So I know that the comics that I have, there's a few of them, at least 100 I have that I already called as a 9.9. Definitely. And you want to know when you have a 9.9, people? It's real simple. When you find a comic, I tell this to everybody, and people done this so much, and you just ruined the book by doing it, you're made in a 9.8. You'll see a tag sometimes on the top corner of your book, on a top left corner. Like, don't ever pull that. Those are 9.9 books. A lot of people don't know that. That extra tag means a book is perfect, because that's what makes a book perfect, like nearly perfect, because it was cut like that by the machine. So it's like immaculate conception. It's not supposed to have anything hanging off of it. I learned that the hard way when I was sitting in the comic shop, and I had a 300 Amazing Spider-Man 300, and I pulled it off in front of my own comic book dealer, and he almost died. And he sat down and explained to me that books like that you should never. So I did it with 300. I don't regret it. I mean, I didn't know anything then. But yeah, you see tags on your books, any kind of paper that hangs off, do not touch it. Leave it the hell alone. Like, I have that Amazing Spider-Man #1, the one that I broke open, and it had. That's why I wanted to see if the tag was going to come out, because it had like a lot of people say I ruined my book. I don't care. I have another one in the 9. What is that one? 9.4 signed by Dan Slott, so I'm good. But I wanted to see if that hair would come out, because your 9.9s, that's the one thing you got to look for. If you're going to be resubmitting your CGCs, take your CGCs and look at every corner and see if you see any paper. I call it the hairs hanging. And if you see that, that's a good candidate for a 9.9. I'm letting you guys know this is how you spot a 9.9. They're not going to tell you this, but I'm telling you this because I've always known this. Like I said, I've been graded books before CGC was in existence, and I agree with a lot they do. I did that, so that video is up on my YouTube channel if you guys want to see it, but I pulled the book out to see if that would be a problem, because now you got to understand, just because your book could qualify for a 9.8, a 9.9, now you got to think they got to get it out the case. They got their ways of getting it out, obviously. But now I know, because I had to cut that plastic, and I was very careful cutting it too. Right. Will you be able to retrieve that whole book? And I was able to pull out everything intact, you know? So the answer is what I see, but I did see another YouTuber. His name is Keeping It Thorough, and he had a Thor that he took out, and for some reason, when they put the cover over it, the plastic PVC bag, because it's kind of hard, so when they put it over, somehow it got glued to the book itself. So I was worried about people getting ready to turn their stuff in. And since my book was cracked open anyway, so I want to see if this is everything, because then, so this is another thing you got to consider. Like, they're going to take your book out, hopefully crack it open without damaging it, and then you qualify for 9.9. I mean, this is going to be a very risky thing. I tell them people to wait a while. I would wait a little while to see how many complaints you have.
Well, and also see how many actually come back 9.9s.
Because I'm going to be doing a lot of reading on this.
If you start seeing a lot of 9.9s come back, you know that this is not okay. Look, like, I mean, that's just how it is for me. You
know that, but listen, it's real simple. They're going to have Look, I get it. It's not okay, but you know what? Though, by design, this was done by design for two reasons. Number one, they wanted to see if they could grow this business. Now they know they could grow this business. Now they know. They never had a pre-screen for 9.9, only in-houses. And I never liked the fact that you couldn't turn in your stuff for pre-screen. And I do believe, especially if you have a CGC, you should be getting it for practically nothing. You should be getting that whole thing for nothing. Crack it open. Give me. I just tell everybody, drop your cases. That's it. Film it. I'm moving it. Clip. I dropped my case and it just popped right open. So these things are not like impossible to get open, people. So I feel like this. Your best bet is stop buying CGCs online and buy the raws, and you submit them yourself. And I do something else, and then I'm gonna go. Especially with this damn slot that I submitted, I etch my book, and they never catch the etch. Meaning, you pick a page, you take every book, pick a page, and take a lead pencil, find a place where you can just put a marking on it. That's called etching the book. Just put your own little mark there, just in case you want to pull it out one day. Hey, imagine that you pull it out, you don't see your marking there. I'm gonna make YouTube videos on this before I submit to CGC, and I'll be doing some very expensive grails. I don't care, and if they catch it, so be it. But now I have etched every book I've had. So
I'm excited to see what they do.
I haven't opened it up to see if they caught it, but I have never gotten a bad grade for it. Yeah, I'm
so
gonna
that might actually get you a pedigree label.
See what I get.
Because of the way they do pedigree labels, that might get you a pedigree label. Because from what I understand, a lot of the reason why these how they can tell when a certain book is from a certain pedigree is because of little etchings inside the book that they know it came from that collector. They know it came from originally from this group of people, or like you said, the Big Apple. But I can't remember what pedigree label I had seen recently, and I was trying to look it up, and it was like this guy had actually put his name on a lot of his books. And because they were like golden age books, and that was just the norm, they graded it 9.6, 9.8, 9.4.
Yeah. So, I think his name is Les something, but the Les something pedigree. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And that's true. So you see, because when I get ready to do what I need to do, I'm definitely gonna get my own pedigree for sure. Like I said, my collection is already part of the Big Apple pedigree, and it's because, like I said, they know my region, where I'm from, how I submit it. They can tell. I've talked to them extensively in the past about, CGC. I would just call them up from time to time. And after a while, I just got to know people there for a minute. So they got familiar with everything I was submitting to them. And I was telling them, wait till you see what I'm going to be sending you guys now. And they're like, what are we getting? I said, no, it's going to be a surprise. And when they got it, that's when they were just blown away. It's just like I said, I'm going to get some kind of pedigree. I mean, I have a comic book company, so I'm definitely going to be trying to, get my comic CGC for sure. I mean, I meet all the qualifications. I just got to go apply. So that's another thing I'm going to be working on, because I want to get my comic CGC. And I'm also working on a couple of recovers I had to do on some books that I got back. It was about 114 of them that didn't come back the way I wanted them to. So I sent them back in. I didn't get the books done yet, because I told the guy that I'm not in a rush to get it done. But inspiration hit me. Those books are going to be recovered. And they're going to be, I'm going to have 114 limited edition foil covers of my comic, Symbiotic. And these are going to be coming out soon. So I will let you guys know when that comes out. And that's it. I'm just rocking and rolling and living the life, people, of a comic book rock star. And that's the way it goes.
All right. Sorry, I'm looking up the pedigree labels right now to see what's the cheapest on eBay. There's a 9.0 Kazar. It's Astonishing Tales 15. It's the Winnipeg pedigree. So I was just trying to read up on what the Winnipeg pedigree is, but that's definitely something that we should talk about soon, because a lot of people don't know about pedigree labels, and a lot of new collectors don't know about it. So definitely something to talk about.
I mean, especially I wouldn't mind. Yeah, especially like I said, with the Big Apple that I got. I mean, I really would love to talk about that, because I got 10 books that no one else will ever have. So I'm very happy about that. So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So good
Have a
night,
good night.
everyone. I am getting the hell out of here.
See ya.
Yes, peace and love, everyone.